Katy Perry, a designer, defeats Katy Perry in a trademark dispute in Australia. In her native Australia, a fashion designer by the name of Katy Perry defeated a particular Katy Perry in a trademark dispute. In 2009, the two Perrys first clashed about who had the right to market apparel under the names Katy or Katy in Australia. The designing Perry retaliated against the singing Perry online after the former sent the latter a severe legal letter. The singer argued that the angry letter was only a standard correspondence issued as part of her own company's attempt to register some trademarks in Australia, not the commencement of any legal action as the designer suggested. The disagreement did, however, ultimately end up in court, albeit years later and at the designer Perry's request. She sued pop singer Perry in 2019, saying that the musician's sale of clothing items using the Katy Perry name in Australia violated her trademark. She eventually found someone prepared to pay the lawsuit. Since Katy Perry had married by then, her legal name was now Katy Taylor. That wasn't pertinent to the legal dispute, but it was brought up that Perry Taylor had gone by Katy Howell when she was younger because that was the last name of her stepfather. She was actually born Katy Perry, and she had resumed using that name about the time that she launched her clothes line in 2006. Of all, Katy Perry isn't really Katy Perry. Katy Hudson is her real name. She launched her debut album under that name in 2001, but it wasn't until her 2008 album that she achieved mainstream success among the boys, although she didn't trademark the Katy Perry brand in Australia until soon after the release of the other Perry's 2008 album that was released 2 years after the designer Perry began selling clothing under her birth name. Nevertheless, Perry has prevailed in the trademark conflict despite all of those technicalities, which is to say, Katy Perry or Katy Taylor if that's easier to understand. According to Australian Judge Bridget Markovich's judgment last week, Ms. Taylor is entitled to an injunction against to prevent it from continuing to engage in infringing conduct. The judge continued, "I am convinced that the respondent's infringing conduct was such as to attract an award of additional damages in relation to the infringing conduct that has been established," although the judge did not specify what those additional damages would be. In a statement posted to social media in response to the ruling, singer Katy Perry stated, "Earlier today the Federal Court of Australia published its decision in which I won the biggest battle of my professional career, the David and Goliath case, my legal action against Katy Perry and her businesses for allegedly infringing my Katy Perry trademark in Australia, which I've held since the 29th of September 2008. We established infringement, and the cross-claim was rejected," she continued, "so I resisted an attack on me and the trademark." She said, "Looking back on the protracted trademark dispute, you may recall that the U.S. singer tried to have me shut down in 2009. The opposition to my trademark was dropped as a result of its failure. In the federal court, I withstood a brutal cross-examination in 2021. I have been tormented and trolling over the past few years, including while fighting it out in court," she continued. "My family and friends have been harassed. I have had to endure hearing negative remarks made about me while I sat in court crying. I've been accused of being naive and opportunistic, but these are just characteristics of business owners starting out. This is good news for small businesses," she said. "It's critical to stand up for yourself when confronted by a bully. We matter. Australian laws matter. In addition to fighting for myself, I also battled for the nation's small enterprises, many of which were founded by women, which sometimes had to compete with foreign organizations with far greater financial clout than we do. We succeeded. We are winners."